This is a Tokyo Metro Namboku line train. The Namboku line is a route that runs north to south through central Tokyo. The next station is Nagatacho. It connects within the ticketed area to 4 Tokyo Metro lines: the Yurakucho line, the Hanzomon line, the Marunouchi line, and the Ginza line. The stopping position for 6-car trains is shifted toward the rear of the platform, leaving space equivalent to the front 2 cars unused. There is also a passenger flow toward the ticket gates further ahead, but I set that aside for now and walk toward the rear. The Namboku line platform uses what is called an island platform structure, where 2 tracks flank a single platform. However, unlike a typical island platform where both sides are visible across the platform, this platform is divided left and right and connected only by several passageways along the way. At the end of the platform, the left and right sides connect, and the platform becomes wider. Of the passageways located at both ends of the platform, it is not possible to transfer to other lines from the front side. At the end of the rear passageway I am walking through is the connecting passageway to other lines. As a result, this area becomes crowded with transferring passengers during rush hours, to the point that even notices like this are posted. From here, even the closest Yurakucho line platform is about 180 meters away, about 590 feet. After moving up 1 level, a passageway resembling an airport terminal continues ahead, with moving walkways on both sides. This passageway is not level, but slopes gently upward. It seems to be quite a long walk before reaching another line.
Beyond the moving walkway is the branching point of the connecting passageways to the lines that connect at this station. Turning right leads to the Yurakucho line. Turning left leads to the Hanzomon line. And the Ginza line and Marunouchi line are located even further beyond the Hanzomon line platform. At this station, the platforms of the 5 connecting lines are arranged as shown here. And this is the layout of the transfer passenger flows. From the Ginza line and Marunouchi line platforms, the Namboku line platform appears closer than the Yurakucho line. But in reality, due to the length of the connecting passageways, the Namboku line platform is the farthest. Among the lines, the Yurakucho, Hanzomon, and Namboku lines use island platform structures, where inbound tracks and outbound tracks flank the platform. By contrast, the Ginza line and Marunouchi line platforms are stacked in 2 levels, with the Marunouchi line tracks on the east side and the Ginza line tracks on the west side, allowing transfers between adjacent platforms. The first to open was what is now the Ginza Line station, which opened in November 1938. At that time, the station was built as a 2-level structure in anticipation of future expansion. In 1959, the Marunouchi Line station opened, making this a transfer station. From that point onward, this station followed an unusual path of development. The Yurakucho Line station opened in 1974. Because it was located far from Akasaka-Mitsuke Station, it was not designated as a transfer station, and it was given a different station name. Then, in 1979, the Hanzomon Line opened. While the Hanzomon Line station was given the name Nagatacho, the ends of the platforms reached both stations due to route constraints, making it a transfer station with Akasaka-Mitsuke Station. In 1997, the Namboku Line opened, completing all 5 lines. Aside from this station, the only other station where 5 subway lines converge is Otemachi Station. However, among those, the Mita line is not a Tokyo Metro line, but a Toei subway line. From here, I look over the entire station and review its features and history. At this location, where the transfer passenger flows of 3 lines intersect, transfers between the Hanzomon line and the Yurakucho line are particularly heavy, and during rush hours, lines of people extend to both sides. And on the pillars, there are notices like these. The purpose is to designate the direction for passengers arriving from the Namboku line, helping to prevent problems such as cutting in line. Another purpose is to prevent congestion from worsening by keeping the points where opposing passenger flows branch away from the escalators. However, because there are no prominent markings on the floor, it appears that many people do not follow these guidelines. First, I head toward the Yurakucho line platform. Before that, there is a space like this between the passenger flows for the Namboku line and the Yurakucho line. This is Etchika Fit Nagatacho. Etchika is a general term for commercial facilities established within stations by Tokyo Metro. Stylish shops are gathered here, allowing people to eat while commuting. This area was originally staff-only space, but it was later renovated and reborn as retail space. At the far end, there is also an elevator connecting the Yurakucho line platform with the upper ticket gate level, allowing passage even outside business hours.
I go down to the Yurakucho line platform. While the Namboku line platform is considered to be on basement level 3, this platform is on basement level 4. Whereas the Namboku line platform has separated inbound and outbound tracks in some sections, this platform continues endlessly with a wide single platform. The tunnels for both lines use a structure called shield tunneling. This involves excavating underground with a cylindrical machine equipped with a cutter at the front and assembling concrete segments from the inside to form the tunnel. At Tokyo Metro stations, this method was first adopted at Kiba Station on the Tozai line. At Kiba Station, although the two platforms were connected only at both ends, problems arose such as poor passenger flow and violent gusts of wind when trains arrived or departed. At stations built later, it became standard to connect the two platforms in some way. At Shin Ochanamizu Station, which opened around the same time, the two platforms are fully connected, but the ceiling is low, creating a sense of pressure. During the construction of the Yurakucho line, an additional tunnel was excavated between the two main tunnels using another shield machine, creating a spacious and uncluttered facility. I proceed to the opposite side of the platform. Walking more than 700 meters, about 2,300 feet, to the farthest line, gives a sense of distance that hardly feels like a single station. Although one of the 3 escalators is blocked off for renovation work, the facility as a whole has not been fully renovated, and the atmosphere of an earlier era remains strongly present. Ahead is the Diet Building Area Gate. Exit 1 of Nagatacho Station is located by turning left after passing through the ticket gates. All of the exits show their age, but one exit stands out as distinctly different: the exit connecting to the members' office buildings of both houses of the Diet. This exit has no number assigned. Its interior is clearly newer, and it is in a class of its own. This gate is located northwest of the Diet building grounds, and for some Diet-related facilities, it is actually closer than Kokai Gijidomaya Station. This is what the surface looks like. Cross the road and the National Diet building is right there. At a location to the left after proceeding from here is exit 1 of Kokai Gijidomaya Station. I return underground. This is not the only ticket gate. On the information board next to the elevator mentioned earlier, there is another ticket gate indicated above the location where the transfer flows of 3 lines converge. Next to the stairs leading to the Yurakucho one is a passageway that leads to this gate. I go up a long escalator. Although the Yurakucho line was the first line to open at Nagatacho Station, it is located quite deep underground due to the surrounding terrain. Ahead is the Hirakawacho area gate. While less well known than Nagatacho, the Hirakawacho area has many office buildings, and this gate becomes crowded during rush hours. From here, there are 4 exits, numbered 3 through 6. This area has the highest ground level, and exit 3 is at an elevation of 29.5 meters, about 97 feet above sea level. Even just reaching the surface from the platform is quite a long journey.
Near this gate, there is yet another ticket gate. However, this one cannot be reached without passing through the Namboku line platform. The distance between the closest exit 5 and exit 9A is less than 100 meters, about 330 feet. Because they are close together, it is easy to enter casually, but attempting to transfer to the Yurakucho line or Hanzomon line from here results in a significant detour. At stations served by multiple lines, exit signs list the platforms in order of proximity, which becomes clear when compared with exit 3. This is footage of descending from here to the Namboku line platform. As a station that opened in 1997, it is noticeably cleaner than the passenger flows on the Yurakucho line side. At the time the Namboku line station opened, it was technically possible to connect all of the platforms, but due to cost considerations and passenger volume, only the ends were connected. I return to the Hirakawacho area gate. This time I proceed in the opposite direction.
There are passenger flows not only on the Yurakucho line side, but also on the Hanzomon line side. The escalator is just as long as before, but the interior here is cleaner. It does not appear to be several decades old, suggesting it was renovated after opening. After descending and turning back, I rejoin the area I passed through earlier in the middle section. From here, I take yet another escalator. In fact, the Hanzomon line passes through the deepest part of Nagatacho Station. Zooming in further looks like this. Dropping something here would likely be disastrous. Because it is deeper than the Namboku line due to the surrounding terrain, another extremely long escalator is required to reach the platform. The ceiling space is used for advertisements, and with escalators directly below, replacing them would be difficult, but the advertising impact seems high. This level change is not limited to escalators, as there are also elevators and stairs. The elevator functions effectively as a barrier-free route, but no one uses the stairs that only create a detour, and I do not pass anyone along the way. However, there are doors leading to mechanical rooms along the way, which appear to be used for access. Of the Hanzomon line platforms, this side connects to the Yurakucho line and Namboku line, while the opposite side connects to the Ginza line and Marunouchi line. On this side, particularly on the right-hand platform when facing forward, many passengers transfer from the Hanzomon line to the Yurakucho line, and the morning rush is extremely crowded. The dense boarding position markings on the right side compared with the left clearly show the level of congestion at this station. This is what the morning rush looks like. There are no benches in this area to avoid obstructing passenger flow. I move further ahead. The structure of the station area resembles that of the Yurakucho line. This is because the shield machine used for the Yurakucho line was reused when building this station. While the Yurakucho line opened simultaneously on both sides of Nagatacho Station, the Hanzomon line station here opened as a terminal station. Because there were no tracks nearby connecting inbound tracks and outbound tracks, and the nearest such tracks were located next to the adjacent Ioma Ichome station, only track 3 on the left side was used. For about 3 years until the line was extended to Hanzomon Station, track 4 on the right side was closed off with partitions. At the end of the Hanzomon line platform is the connecting passageway to the Ginza Line and Marunouchi Line. Proceeding straight on the level above leads to the ticket gates, while turning left leads to the connecting passageway. Even after coming this far, the platforms are still around 200 meters away, about 660 feet. Just when it seems the path goes up, it goes down again, and then up once more. This is because the passageway passes beneath the Marunouchi Line tunnels at this location. The reason for having passageways at both ends of the platform is to make transfers to the connecting lines easier, and because the ground surface above the Hanzomon line slopes steeply downward. However, the Ginza Line and Marunouchi Line platforms are located farther away, making transfers less convenient than to the Yurakucho Line or Namboku Line. After going up the escalator and turning right, those 2 platforms appear ahead. I turn around here and look back. Something feels slightly off. This elevator is not installed vertically, but is angled along the stairs and escalator. It is called an inclined elevator, and was the first of its kind introduced in the Tokyo metropolitan area. Because it was installed to fit the existing space, it resulted in an unusual type of mechanism. Along the transfer passageway, there is equipment for transporting materials. Passing trains can be observed clearly from here. After walking a bit further, I reach the Ginza Line and Marunouchi Line platforms. Both inbound tracks and outbound tracks are arranged in 2 levels, allowing transfers on the same platform. Both lines use 6-car trains, but because the Marunouchi Line cars are longer, the platform extends further forward, and the convenience of transfers varies depending on car position. I am now on the lower level of the 2-level platform. What happens if I go straight through the previous passageway and pass through the upper level instead? Upon reaching the upper level, there is immediately a ticket gate, with no transfer routes to other lines.
Despite being part of Nagatacho Station, it is named the Akasaka-Mitsuke Area Gate, which is somewhat confusing. To return to the previous area, I proceed to the right. There is also a passageway to the left, but choosing left or right here leads to entirely different destinations, with the left leading to a surface exit. The right passageway runs directly above the transfer route passed earlier and has similar elevation changes. This is the location where the inclined elevator was earlier. Installing a standard elevator would have required excavating above and below the passageway, but because two passageways overlap here, such construction would have been difficult, leading to the adoption of an inclined elevator. Turning left from here leads to exits A through D. Although these two locations are close to each other, entering the wrong one causes significant trouble. Turning right instead, the interior suddenly becomes brighter. Ahead is another ticket gate, and to match the curve of the Marunouchi Line tunnel, the left side curves gently. Incidentally, this gate has the same name as the previous one. Beyond this point, the tracks draw much closer together, and the platform becomes narrower. This is because when the Ginza Line was built, the Marunouchi Line was planned as a branch of the Ginza Line, and tracks connecting the two lines are located ahead. Rather than a transfer between different lines, this facility was designed for transfers between a main line and a branch line. As a result, it became a rare and convenient platform in Japanese subways, where transfers between different lines can be made on the same platform. It was a bold concept for 1938, but this facility was later forced to undergo reconstruction.
When the Marunouchi Line opened in 1959, demand far exceeded initial expectations, requiring the platform to be expanded. Before the Marunouchi Line tunnel was demolished and the platform widened, the entire platform was straight and narrow. The row of columns on the left marks where the original tunnel wall once stood, while the two rows of columns on the right were part of the original structure. Originally, the area I am now walking through was planned to be the edge of the platform, but this would clearly have been insufficient in width. Among the stairs and elevators at the far end of the platform, the stairs I passed earlier connect the two platforms, but the elevator at the dead end serves another purpose. Beneath the two platforms is yet another ticket gate. After descending the elevator, there is a white passageway with a rest area. This comparatively clean ticket gate was newly constructed in 2010. Because there had previously been no entrances on this side, a new space of about 530 square meters, about 5,700 square feet, was created to install the ticket gate and related facilities. The Ginza Line and Marunouchi Line tunnels were originally located at shallow depths, leaving no space between the tunnels and the surface for ticket gates, resulting in this structure. And this is what the surface around Akasaka-Mitsuke Station looks like. Unlike Nagatacho Station, the area is lined with commercial facilities and buildings, and traffic on the main roads never stops. The contrast with Nagatacho Station, with its complex interior and solemn atmosphere, is also worth noting.